Midwestern corn harvest is ahead of schedule this year. Most farmers would like to harvest dry corn, but not too dry, and this is the year you really have to watch out for that. We'll talk about how corn that's too dry can be a problem in today's Iron Talk. You're probably thinking, dry corn isn't the problem, it's a great deal. All right, you got me there. Yep, it saves you money when you don't have to dry the corn down. My argument, though, is that it may cost you money if you let the corn get too dry in the field. What I'm talking about here is shatter loss. With shatter loss during corn harvesting, there are a couple obvious points to make. First, harvesting at 20 to 24% moisture reduces harvest loss tremendously. In an ideal world, that's when we'd harvest everything to maximize yield and minimize problems. This year, with all the heat and sunlight much of the country received, this window may close very quickly, though. Secondly, when corn gets below 20% moisture, shatter becomes more of an issue. Every kernel that doesn't make it into your combine is a potential volunteer corn plant for your field next year. The weed competition costs you yield, and the weeds themselves, volunteer corn, cost you money to control. If you're continually running into problems with grain getting too dry in the field before harvest, or if you're actually targeting 14 to 17% moisture corn for harvest, there are different fixes available for nearly every kind of harvesting machine. The first step would be to speak to your equipment dealer for upgrades and modifications that you could make to your specific brand of harvesting equipment. Secondly, there are aftermarket fixes advertising up to an 80% reduction in shatter loss at the header. If you don't think you can afford to fix things, stop and consider the economic loss you're seeing in the field. Using the Ag PhD Harvest Loss Calculator, 2 kernels of corn per square foot equates to about 1 bushel of yield loss. If you're losing 3 bushels per acre on 1,000 acres, that's more than a $10,000 loss. And this doesn't even include the expense of a volunteer corn herbicide for your next crop. Shatter loss is a serious problem in corn, especially when corn gets too dry. Do some harvest loss counts on your farm this harvest season and look into the fixes to put this lost income back into your pocket. That's all the time for today's Iron Talk, but now, back to the show.